Hello, hello, and welcome to today's conversation with one of our amazing experts from the Women Thrive Summit. I'm so excited to have all of you joining for today's conversation and to be exploring today's topic. So, we're talking about how to solve your stubborn problems with energy, and who's a better guest than our energy coach, Kristin Lemaster. Hi, Kristin, how are you today?
Good, good. Hi, everybody. Welcome in.
Where are you joining us from?
I am in San Francisco, California, in the States.
Oof, I love it. I can't wait to come visit there. Kristen, today we're talking about something important, and I love this topic, and I love what you do. And we've been very lucky to get to know each other over the last few months, and not just the energy and the story that you bring to the spaces. So today we're really talking about how to solve your stubborn problems with energy and how to get unstuck. So if you're feeling something is a little bit blocked and not helping you move forward in your life, actually the secret by Kristen is it already lies within you, the
Mhm.
energy that you have within you. And this is what we're talking about, how to create breakthroughs. So Kristen Lemaster is our energy coach and the founder of Soulful Navigation. And her passion is to help busy people who are exhausted, unfulfilled, and caught into this whole self-improvement cycle to get unstuck and learn. So she helps people to get unstuck and help them learn that their own energy is more valuable than they know. And then they can create more time and ease and opportunities and vitality in everything that they do. So that's what we're talking about. And if you're joining us live or watching on replay, please leave a comment in the chat. We'd love to see who we have here in our room today. Kristen, where do we begin? Why is this such an important topic? Why so many of us actually need to find out more about our own energy, which is the secret to all?
Sure. And I just wanted to say for those watching, if you do feel like you are stuck in your life, I just wanted to start by saying that you are not alone. And one of the reasons that this topic is so important is because there have been a lot of studies in the recent years that show up to 75%, and some studies show even 80% of people are feeling stuck in either their personal or their professional life. So I think it's important just for that, but equally important is this time that we are living in. And when I look at it through my energy or my spiritual lens, we can see that we are living in a time that is spiritual crisis and spiritual awakening. And everything is shifting so fast these days that now is the time. Now is the time to add this extra dimension into your life, not only so you can get unstuck and have an easier and more fulfilling life, but so that we can start to have more positive impact in the world. And when we start to work with our energy, we can see it's infinite potential, the things that we can do and create and heal with our energy. And I
Mhm.
think now more than ever, the world needs us to do that.
Yeah. I want to pick up on that. What does it feel to be stuck? Just
Oh,
so we can really define, like, how is it manifesting in our lives if you're feeling stuck?
absolutely. Gosh, I ask this question a lot when I teach, and the first thing I say is, how does it feel in your body? So, starting with when we feel stuck, what does it feel like physically for us? And a lot of times, what this looks like is aches and pains, unexplained symptoms. A lot of times, this shows up in ways that we end up going to doctor's appointment after doctor's appointment because we feel like something is wrong with our physical body. But the root of it really is that our energy is stagnant, that we aren't in resonance with our actions, or we aren't in resonance with the environment or the circumstance that surrounds us. So it can definitely show up with just, you know, not even wanting to get out of bed in the morning. If you're finding it hard because you are not looking forward to anything in your day, that's another way to do it. But I think it shows up too a lot in how we turn to our phones, because we are looking for something more. And the phone is so easy, right? You can find pretty much anything there. But it's a sense of despondency, apathy, disconnection. Maybe your relationships are changing because you just don't have that passion in your life anymore. And the thing I find that's really frustrating about being stuck is that you can't quite pinpoint why, right? There's no like one thing. So there's also a layer of frustration in there as well.
Yeah. And I recall, some years ago when life just didn't feel interesting. I felt so disinterested, disconnected. And even though some things were going great in my life, I just felt like there's something missing. And as you say, you just can't put your finger on it. And you could lay in bed and feel depressed and scroll your phone and trying to find answers. And we kind of always look for answers outside of us, right? We always
Absolutely.
look for like maybe there's a coach, maybe this, maybe that, maybe a program, maybe a partner is not fulfilling us. But what about if that answer was within? So I know you talk about energy. Tell us a little bit more about how can we start looking for answers from within as opposed to from outside?
Sure, absolutely. And I feel so passionate about this, and you said that so eloquently, but my business, Soulful Navigation, the tagline on it is live your life from the inside out. And again, we are living most of us from the outside in, and it leaves us feeling empty. But we can find validation, belonging, confidence, direction, clarity. All of that is located already within us. So, yes, your very important question is how do we tap into that? And I'll tell you a couple of my very first practices that I teach because they are so foundational and so important are things that you're going to hear and maybe be like, that doesn't really sound very special. But let me just tell you what they are. So the first one is always the question I ask: where is your awareness? Okay. Our energy follows our thought. That's something that is taught in every energy program across the board. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So even if you can't sense your energy and you don't know what your energy is doing, you can always have a clue into your energy by where your awareness is. So by asking, where is your awareness? One thing that you can start to do is bring more of your awareness from the outside world. Start with bringing your awareness into your physical body. And then you can start to go deeper and really get into your energy. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Um, and the other thing I want to say about awareness is that a lot of people think it's either or. You're either awareness on the outside or awareness on the inside, but it's actually a sliding scale. So I love to talk about where is your awareness in terms of percentages. So if you are in meditation, 100% of your awareness is on the inside. Okay. If you're being mindful about something, it's like 90% of your awareness is on the inside, 10% is on a single point of focus in the outside world. So you can kind of see most of us in the world, when we look at how we operate, we're like in the 0 to 10% range of where our awareness is. And what that relates to is that we're only 10% of our energy is actually embodied in our physical body. So you can see you don't have to sit in meditation all day. Just increase it by 1 or 2%. And right now we can all do this. Just bring a little bit more of your awareness into what is happening in your inner world. And when you do that, you can really start to cultivate this relationship with your energy. And then I would say to start to really get to know your energy, one of the really fun ways to put words around it, and again, this is something that's taught across the board, is we work with what we call the 8 clairs, meaning clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. So um, clair means clear, right? So clear seeing, clear hearing. So our energy is so many things. It's frequency, it's vibration, but one of the biggest things about our energy is that it is chocked full with wisdom. So
Mhm.
when we go to all these clairs, it's like, how do you feel your energy flowing in your body? But also, what is your intuition, your knowings? What are the messages from your energy that it's telling you? So as you start to cultivate a relationship, it's about how you feel it in your body, how you sense it, maybe how you see it, how you hear it, how you smell it. But then it's also about the intuition of how do you just know the wisdom inherent in your energy.
Yeah, and it's so powerful because I believe that each and every one of us have this wisdom within, but again, we get that disconnection. We're looking for outside, and I love that you brought some of the tools that you use and opportunities for people to actually start practicing something else so simple, right? Just being aware of what's going on and the feelings that's going on with our bodies. Life gets busy. Life gets so busy, right? And I mean, I mean, maybe some people do, but even has 5 minutes. I mean, I know we do actually have those 5 minutes, but who consciously takes those 5 minutes to dedicate to feel into yourself, right? To feel into your energy, have that mini meditation for 5 minutes before you switch from task to task. Life just gets so chaotic.
I know.
What would you tell people who, and I want to hear also a little bit more about you. So, but what would you tell people who perhaps feeling that way, feeling a bit stuck, looking for the answers? And maybe there has been experience in your life where you felt like that, and some of the work that you do today has helped you kind of break through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, just to reiterate that you're not alone. I mean, I have certainly been there. For me, my first act in life was a scientist and an engineer, and I worked in the corporate world, and I let my analytical mind run the show. And I loved that I could live in a world of predictable rules, and there wasn't a lot of personal interaction or connection. And I was really, I mean, I don't want to like pat myself on the back, but I had a very successful career as an engineer. I had the coveted window cubicle in this giant office, right, which made people a lot of jealous, but I earned that. And we were a privately held company, and I was one of the youngest stockholders in the history of the company, and also was part of the leadership training program, like in my mid 20s, and really killing it, doing a lot of travel, which again was like really ecstatic. So, and also at the same time, like I married my college sweetheart. We were building a custom house outside of Boston, actually, where that's kind of unheard of because there's not a lot of space. But throughout all of this, from the outside in, my life looked amazing. But really what was happening on the inside was I was becoming more empty, and I was getting more and more disconnected. And that's when I had this moment where I was in a yoga studio, and I came out, and there was a bulletin board, and there was a quote on the bulletin board, and it said, "It doesn't matter how fast you're moving if you're moving in the wrong direction." And I actually felt like someone had slapped me in the face. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is my life. My life is an egg with this beautiful shell, but it's empty on the inside because I am moving in the wrong direction." And already, I had these unexplained chronic symptoms. I had feet pain. I had this weird abdominal pain that would like bring me to my knees that no doctor could figure out. We couldn't have a baby. We had like all of these problems were coming up. And I just kept saying, it felt to me like every day I would wake up and I would climb this slippery, muddy hill and get all sticky. And I would just end up right back in the same place at the end. And I would wake up and start climbing that hill again, not making a lot of progress. So, that's what kind of brought me into this space. And then I went and tested like 30 different energy methods because I was like, I know there's something here, and I need to figure out what it is. So in all of that testing and trying, and not just helping myself, but now helping clients, I would say the one thing I would tell people if they're feeling really stuck right now, and I love this practice, I would just say, stop trying. Okay, just stop. When we come up against this stuckness, against these barriers of change that we bang our head against, a lot of times what we're doing is we are feeding that stuckness by putting in more physical, mental, and emotional effort. And we're taught that, right? If we just work hard
Mhm.
enough, if we put in enough time and consistency, we can do whatever we want. But when we are trying to fix our lives with this physical, mental, emotional effort, a lot of times it's like digging that hole even deeper. So I always like to say, like, stop. Okay. Stop the physical, emotional, and the mental effort. What we're going to do is we're going to do this a totally different way. When you stop trying and then you put spiritual effort into it, which looks very different, then you are able to start to receive the supportive energies around you. You're able to let your spirit take the lead. And remember, our spirit has all of that wisdom in it. So you talked about the pause, and I will say too, when we talk about hit the pause button, stop your effort, put in the spiritual effort. Well, what does the spiritual effort look like? It is as simple as pausing and coming into full presence of where you are in the moment, full presence of what is happening around you. It's acceptance of where you are in the moment. So I always like to say that, the 4 P's, right? You pause, you come into full presence, you find some practices that can really help you. And then the fourth P is to surround yourself by people who lift you up and help you with your spiritual growth. So that was a little bit of a long-winded answer to your question, but it's so important to talk about the starting point.
Yeah, it really is. Sometimes just recognizing what's holding you back. And that's why, to start with, I was like, what does it feel being stuck? Because we know something is out of alignment, but then we can't, as I said, we can't put a finger. But oh, I love that, even just getting support. And there's so many things that you've shared in this that I think would be so practical and useful for people to really get to that next stage. So thank you for sharing that, Kristen. I feel like we're just in for such a treat having this conversation right now. Kristen, I know that you are a speaker at the Women Thrive Summit, where you are going to expanding a whole lot more on this particular topic. Tell me a little bit more about your upcoming talk at the Women Thrive Summit.
Sure, sure. So I'm talking on Friday the 24th at 10 a.m. Pacific. And the reason I mentioned the day is because Ramonda has set up the summit so beautifully that Friday is kind of a day of spirituality. So we're kind of like ending the summit by integrating things into our spirit. So the title of my talk is Spirit Led Success: Dissolving the Disconnect Between Your Spirituality and Your Actual Life. So, really, my talk it really is all about alignment. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a practice during that session together. So, I'll do a little bit of teaching. We'll talk more about these 4 P's, about pausing. We'll talk about some of the practices. Again, we'll expound on those a little bit more detail. And then we'll actually do one together so that by the end of the talk, people have already taken their first steps, maybe into finding that soul aligned life, into breaking through those barriers of change so that they can cultivate success in all areas, and not just career, but success in your relationship, success in your health, success in like your overall well-being and spiritual engagement. And yeah, it's gonna hopefully be a feel good and practical talk, because my engineer comes out. I love to be efficient and practical. So we're gonna try to bring that into the into the talk next Friday.
That's why I love working with you and sort of hearing your wisdom, because I know a lot of people say spirituality and this is woo woo, and it's like, if I don't believe in it, like, how can I make it practical? But you actually make it really fun and practical on an everyday basis, and whether you are spiritual or not, whether you are all the way into woo woo world or even religious world, this is actually science. It's part of it. What you're teaching is part science, part energy. And energy, it's like we can't touch it, but we feel it. We know it, right? There's like a light. You can't see it, but you can't see it. It's like a wind. You can't see it, right? But
Right.
it's happening. You feel it. And this is the same thing. And when you feel out of alignment, you feel that sadness, or you feel something is manifesting in your life, and you feel something but you can't quite put your finger on it. And I love that your teachings are very, very practical. So for those of you who perhaps have not yet seen what we're doing, hopefully you have, because we've been talking about it for months. But March is Women's History Month, and we take several months to prepare for this annual women empowerment event called Women Thrive Summit. And through the week of March 20th to 24th, we have more than 50 amazing speakers. And Friday, as Kristen said, is all about energy work and spirituality and integrating all these teachings into our own personal growth. And the whole summit is about women rising and thriving to our power, to our potential, and creating success in our lives and taking that holistic approach. So, if you haven't already saved your spot, make sure that you head over to womenthrivesummit.com, register for your spot, and you can choose from one of the 50 sessions to attend throughout the week of 20th to 24th of March. And you get to work on things like, your personal development, your growth, your confidence, your purpose, your visibility, marketing, business, finance, or the whole internal healing and transformation from within, which I believe is necessary for all of us to have a true transformation in our lives. So head over to womenthrivesummit.com. Kristen, any other thoughts that you would like to share with our audience today? What would you like to kind of just leave our ladies with today?
I'll just say, if you are feeling that spiritual urgency, right? I sometimes call that stuckness as having a soul ache, right? Because again, you can't put your finger on it. If you're there, I would just encourage everyone to go and find something that resonates. The Women Thrive Summit is a great place because you're going to get to test out all different kinds of energy methods, and that's certainly like what I did. I 2 decades, 30 modalities of testing and trying, and so part of my mission is to say, like, you don't have to do that. Let me just hand you my list of practices because these are the ones that I have found to be powerful, efficient. But really, you have to go find something that resonates with you. There is no one right way to do it. So again, I would love to offer encouragement and support for anyone who's watching this, who's like, right now I'm going to go out and I'm going to do it, and find that thing that speaks to your spirit. Because once you just open that door into the energy world, it will unfold in such a powerful way that will change your life.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely life changing once you start actively doing these things. So, Kristen, if someone feels very much inspired by this conversation, like, hey, I really got to learn more about it, and as you said, you've learned so many modalities, and you get to share in your work. How can people get access to any of your teachings and your support?
Sure, sure. So I love to just send people to my website. It's soulfulnavigation.com. And the reason I love that as a home base is because from there you can do things like I have an app, which is a really easy way to use your thumb. And if you're going to go to your phone anyway, you might as well like go do energy on your phone. So you can download the app from the website. It's also available in Apple and Google Play. It's called Soulful Navigation. And on there, there's a whole free section of introductory content. Everything from a mini course on what is energy, to an energy clearing training, again, where you can clear out some of that stuckness without reliving past traumas. So definitely, I think the app is a great way to do it. But also, on the website, we have a calendar of free live discussions that we do every Thursday on Clubhouse. That's a really great way to find your people, right? That fourth P. And then, of course, I do have a group coaching program that is called Practical Energy Solutions, and it's SOUL. So, Practical Energy Solutions, where again, I've cultivated this list of 20 practices. And what we do, there's a whole library of self-paced stuff, but then we get together in community and we do these practices. And the thing that makes that program really special is the people who come into that group and hold space for each other. It's really an amazing thing. Yeah. So go to the website. Everything's there. Everything you could possibly want to know about me is there. So it's always a good place
Oh,
to
I
start.
love it. Yeah, I love the app as well. I downloaded it a few months ago, and it's just been indulging, sometimes in the evening when you just need more alignment or just want to learn some new things that feels good on your soul. That's what I do when I'm just craving for that space to be held because, like I said, life is busy. We are entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders, we're moms. We like wearing different hats, and it's like I don't know if I'm coming or going. And sometimes you just need you time. So go over to soulfulnavigation.com, connect with Kristin. She has a wealth of knowledge to share. And of course, mark your diary for March 24th to attend Kristin's talk, because I think you're in for an amazing treat, especially that whole day. That's going to be one of my highlights of the summit. Like, what a way to wrap up the summit, to talk about spirituality. I mean, I do like to indulge a little bit in that. Thank you, Malo. I appreciate it, for all of you watching as well, for your time, participation. Do make sure you share this with some of your friends, tag others, leave a comment, even if you're watching this on replay, because we're here and we'll come back and to answer your questions. Kristin, I truly appreciate you and honor your time and commitment to our community and platform.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you all, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. We're actually back in just half hour with another amazing guest from the summit, so do make sure you stay tuned and look out for the next episode or next live that we're going to be doing today. Look forward to seeing you. Take care.